Alright, hi everybody. I'm James, and today I would like to talk about the Ice Age from a Christian perspective. There are a lot of mysteries surrounding the Ice Age. I'll get into some of them, not all of them. The two biggest mysteries are the extinctions and the glaciers. And let's get started here. Now, alright, the most conservative estimate is 50,000 dead mammoths in Siberia alone. Many people think it was in the millions of mammoths, and we haven't discovered all of them. Siberia is a massive place. These numbers do not count the many other animals found in Siberia, such as bison, woolly rhino, and the horse. Mammoths, like elephants, need hundreds of pounds of food in a day and gallons of water. What did they eat? Why did they go to Siberia? How could they survive such harsh winters? Why did they die in huge numbers and in such a large mass? Why were they in the standing position? Why did some have broken bones? And why were some found suffocated to death? Stepping away from the woolly mammoths for a second, many animals, plants, and other organisms that prefer colder climates lived alongside organisms that preferred warmer climates. This is called disharmonious associations, which mainstream scientists have no explanation. Like, what I'm trying to say is that they found, for example, I'm not saying they actually found this particularly, but they find animals like penguins living near the equator. They find things like camels living at the Arctic and Antarctic regions. They find I'm saying they found the skeletons in these areas. And more puzzlingly, this tends to be the rule rather than the exception. That they find animals like penguins where they're not supposed to find them, or where we don't find them today, and they find animals like camels where they don't find them today. And they also find these types of animals living together, which is the disharmonious associations. Yeah, that stuff. All right. So there are three hypotheses, mainstream hypotheses for these mass extinctions. There is the over-ill hypothesis, the over-chill hypothesis, and the overkill hypothesis. The over-ill hypothesis is saying that people sparked the extinctions by introducing epidemic diseases. There's little evidence to support this, and this has been already examined and considered, and it is considered extremely unlikely because disease cannot affect so many animals over such a wide area. We didn't just have extinctions in Siberia, we had extinctions all over the world. We had woolly mammoths go extinct everywhere. Alright, the over-chill hypothesis states that mass extinctions due to climate change. There has said to be 30 ice ages. Alright, well, okay, let's just stop there. They say that, these, which sounds like it makes sense, Of course, we had mass extinctions during the Ice Age because, the atmosphere got terrible and animals couldn't live in there. So, let's look at why this is kind of what the holes are in this theory. All right, so uniformitarian science says that there has been 30 ice ages, or maybe not 30 exactly, but many more than just one ice age. why did all the extinctions happen only at the last ice age? The last ice age was not any harsher than the rest. A different thing is that the climate warmed while the ice melted, and the woolly mammoths in particular were said to have died at the end of the ice age, but that is when the climate would be warming. And while the ice melted, more land would be exposed while the ice melted. So this would be, more place to spread out and more place for plants to grow and everything. Another point is that most animals were well south of the ice sheet boundary in the United States. And the most interesting thing, the biggest hole in this, is that most skeletons and carcasses were apparently healthy when they died. They didn't die of malnutrition or anything like that. They were healthy when they died. The majority of them. I mean, of course, not every single one was in tip-top shape. Alright, and then we have the overkill hypothesis, which is saying that man killed the animals into extinction. A lot of people think that makes sense. There's a lot of times when we have hunted animals into extinction, just on recent record. But let's look at why this is a little problematic. The populations of the people during the Ice Age were sparse, while animals were widespread over the entire northern hemisphere. Hunters only had spears or knives, and mammoth hide was very tough to penetrate with a spear. Hunters normally don't overkill what they use for food. Tusks were left with the skeletons, and tusks are very useful in making new tools and other things. Hunters always use the tusks, but they were found with the skeletons. There are very few mammoth spear point associations. There's very few fossils we've uncovered that have spear point evidence. There were many moa kill sites on New Zealand, while very few mammoth kill sites. Africans have not killed off many animals over thousands of years. Many animals that should have been hunted to extinction are still alive today. So, I guess in conclusion for the extinction part is that there are a lot of different hypotheses and theories, but very few of them actually, or none of the ones I just listed, actually explain it. They all leave more questions than what they're trying to answer. Now I'd like to talk about the glaciers. Alright, for the sake of time, I'm not going to go through all the many theories about how the glaciers were formed. The two main ingredients for the glaciers is cooler summers, cooler temperatures all around, and heavy snow. Now, the problem that's the problem that almost all the major theories for the glaciers go through, is that if you have a cooler summer, let's just say, the sun blocks we don't get the sunlight, and that brings down cooler summers. If that were to happen, or something like that to happen, then in the cooler atmosphere there would be less evaporation and less snowfall. And so it doesn't actually answer where these glaciers came from. And that is a really big deal. Okay, here we go. I'm going to explain a hypothesis or theory for the Ice Age from a creationalist point of view, from a worldwide flood point of view. Monumental geological and hydrological activity occurred early in the flood. Gigantic earthquakes could have caused large cracks in the Earth's crust, explosively releasing subterranean water and triggering volcanic activity. Embedded in the sedimentary rocks is evidence of incredible volcanic activity that has no parallel today. Vast, unusually thick layers of volcanic flows and ash interlayer sedimentary rocks that fit the worldwide flood model very well. Volcanic ash and gases from the flood would probably take 3 years to fall out. The volcanic ash would block the sunlight, which would provide a very good cooling mechanism. Continental summers could drop below freezing in a matter of days. Geologicists, brain fart, recognize that there was extensive volcanic activity during the Ice Age, visible in all parts of the world. Water from the fountains of the deep would be warm along with the warmth of intensity of the tectonic activity and lava flows. Alright, in Genesis chapter 7 or chapter 8, they're saying that the waters from the deep came up, and that was where we got most of the liquid for the flood that drowned the earth. If these waters were beneath the crust of the earth, they would be warm from the earth's core. Alright, so in mid and high latitudes, the warm ocean would cause copious evaporation and produce massive amounts of snow. The two ingredients needed for an ice age, cool temperatures from the volcanic ash and tons of snow from the warm oceans, were dramatically fulfilled immediately after the Genesis flood. The unique climate would persist for hundreds of years after the flood as the intensity of the two mechanisms slowly decreased. Alright, I hope you guys liked the video today. If this didn't answer your questions, or if you want to learn more on the topic, there's actually a full book you can read online about this topic. I'll put the link in the description today. Alright, let's try that again. I'll put the link in the description of this video, and it's on the Answers in Genesis website, and the book is called Frozen in Time. The link will be below. Let me know what you guys think. Have a good day.